Good evening, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. Welcome into On the Hunt tonight, where we are going on the hunt with my good buddy, Mr. David Pardue, out of North Carolina. And gosh, we were talking earlier today. You guys, please go get the popcorn and buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride tonight. David has taken some really interesting reports and gone and done some investigations. You all know that David has been here several times, and it never disappoints every time he comes on. David and I do Bigfooting together out in the field. He's part of my teams, and if you guys want to have a Bigfoot experience, y'all go hang out with David Pardue, okay? Because it's a sure bet. Every time we go out there, something weird's gonna happen. Okay, and I know I bring the high strangeness too. I know, but David knows where to find them. Definitely knows where to find the Bigfoot. So we have some cases tonight that we're going to be discussing that David has personally investigated that do involve even sheriff's deputies having Bigfoot sightings and weird creatures that had dog faces and stuff on them. So yeah, let's get this party started tonight. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Yes, I went out to the woods a little bit today and ran around. And yeah, I made a post on social media, so y'all can go see. I got a couple of pictures of my dog swimming and stuff. but yeah, I like getting out in the woods at least once or twice a week, just to reset and recharge my batteries. Okay, my human batteries. I highly recommend it. I hope you guys can be able to do the same thing as well. Okay, so yeah, if you guys would like to follow along with all my shows and stuff, y'all go over to my website. I can try to keep it updated with all of the archives of all the shows that I've done. I do 4 live shows a week here on the channel. In addition to me going on other shows and stuff too, I also do have a podcast. So I upload all of my shows to podcast platforms right after the shows are over. So if you guys want to go over to Spreaker, Spotify, you name it, you can go find the Cryptid Huntress on podcasting platforms as well. So, but my website is thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find all that information over there. I also have a Patreon if you guys would like to support my work. And I have a shop. It's called War Woman Goods. So thank you guys so much for all your support with that. And we do have the 2025 Georgia Bigfoot Conference coming up March the 22nd in Demarest, Georgia. So David and I both will be speaking at that. And I do have a flyer for that. I forgot to upload it tonight, but it's on my social media, and it will be on my website soon for that event. If you want any more information, you can go to my website for that, or go to my Facebook page, any of my social media sites. I've got the flyer uploaded there. So I hope you guys will come see us. We have a couple of my teammates actually will be speaking there, including Matthew Delph, David Pardue, myself, and we got Stacy Brown Jr. will be there, and the North Carolina Investigates crew will be there with George Lunsford. I think Harley Owens might actually be coming, and Robert Effler and Tim Dills, and that whole crowd. And we got some zombies from The Walking Dead that'll be there as well. Miss Sonia, she's the best. And Dr. John Stamey. Y'all know Dr. John Stamey. Okay, and I'm sure I'm leaving a ton of people out, but that's who I can remember off the top of my head. So I hope you guys will come see us up at Piedmont University on March the 22nd. And I have other events coming up too, but just go to my website if you'd like to see those events. Okay, well, let's get to our show tonight, because I know I cannot wait to talk to David. He's got some fantastic pictures to show us tonight, and he even has a track. He's got a casting of a 3-toed print, y'all. It's wild. 3-toed print. I think it's 3-toed Bigfoots. All right, but you guys, y'all are going to be able to check it out in just a minute. Okay, so we are going on the hunt tonight with David. David had his first Bigfoot experience at the age of 16 on his aunt's farm. And that sparked a deep interest in understanding just what that 6-foot tall bipedal creature was that he saw run across a tobacco field while leaving 14-inch tracks. His interest in Bigfoot led him to research the subject in depth, finally, after years of his own private research, to join the BFRO in 2006 as a field investigator. He joined Carolina Bigfoot Field Research, CBFR, in 2014, and in 2018, David founded the Carolina Cryptid Field Research team, and along with Terry Windell. Y'all know Terry; he's been on the show before, and he conducts field research to this day out there in North Carolina and all over the South. He comes out with my team quite a bit. We're on the same teams, okay? And please help me welcome to the show my good friend, Mr. David Pardue. What's up, David?
Hey, Jessica.
Hey, how have you been? I just want to thank you for being here, first of all. But how you been doing, David?
Working. Spent all day trying to get the garden ready and doing the honeydew lists. So,
oh, sweet.
No Bigfoot and stuff today.
Oh man, not today. Well, we got plenty of time for that. You know, the weather in Georgia today was perfect. So I had to get out a little bit and go wander around the woods today. I couldn't help it. So I know. Well, we'll be getting out in the woods soon. Hopefully I can get out in the woods with you sometime soon. You do know how to find the Bigfoots out there. And you've been doing this for a long time, David. Tell the audience just briefly, just about your background. How long you've been into the Bigfoot field?
Well, as you stated, I had an interest since a kid. I had my very first sighting at 16 on my aunt's farm. And at the time, you know, I knew about the Patterson footage, West Coast Bigfoot. And I didn't know anything about Bigfoot on the East Coast where I grew up here in North Carolina. But as kids, we were always told to stay out of the woods, or the woolly booger would get you. They had all these local names, the red-eyed booger. But my grandmother, if you're playing in the woods and starts getting dark, the woolly booger will get you, so you better get home. But I never put together woolly booger and Bigfoot, which is the same thing. And the more you investigate, and especially in the area of North Carolina I'm from, people call it the same thing to this day. It's the red-eye booger, woolly booger. There's different little, slang names for what we call a Bigfoot, which is actually properly would be a Sasquatch. But one thing's led to another. And after what happened to me at 16 and seeing that, and then I started hearing these, local reports of Bigfoot type creature. And then I started, what I seen had to have been a Bigfoot, because we never could figure it out that it was too big to be a man. It was armpits were like the tobacco, which is, 5 foot tall. And, this thing, when it run across the field, its armpits were above the tobacco plant. So it had to be, 6, 7, 8 feet tall. But you didn't realize that till you get into the field, and it dawns on you that just how big that thing was. And so one thing's led to another, and I found the BFRO once the internet become popular, and I went to West Virginia, and I had the most amazing encounter there with 2 other people, and then we went back to our base camp and told everyone what had happened to us in West Virginia, up in the woods. And they wanted to go back and see it, and 13 more people went back with us. So it was 13 altogether. My original 3, me and my 2 friends, and 10 more people went back. And almost the exact thing happened. It repeated itself again. But this time 13 people got to witness it instead of just 3. And I left out of there, and they talked me into wanting to being a field investigator, because I was able to locate it, from all my research and all everything I'd done before I got to West Virginia. They wanted me to become a field investigator because I was very thorough, and I was able to find find the Squatches on the first night out, and it was unusual for them to have something happen that fast and that impressive an experience. It was frightening, but at the same time, I took away a whole lot from that experience, and brought all that back to North Carolina, and then there for 6 or 7 years, it was just about every weekend I was in the woods, or if I wasn't in the woods, I was on the phone talking to people, taking reports, meeting new investigators, meeting new people. Most of the people that are near and dear to my heart right now, I met through Bigfoot, and those are my best friends. Some of them are like brothers,
And sisters.
yeah, and sisters. But it's some of the stuff we'll talk about tonight. Some of the people I met because through the investigation, it's just a network of people, and the stories you hear, the where you get to go out and actually talk to the witnesses, sometimes see the tracks, the prints. You just build upon it, and you get to a point to where I can just about go to someone's place, and they're saying they're having a Bigfoot activity. Within a couple of days of spending time there, I find something. Usually I see them or get a picture of them. But Bigfoot's been real good to me. I've been real lucky. I mean,
Oh yeah.
And it seems like everywhere I go, somewhere new, some of the stuff it always seems to happen to me, and some of the most wildest stuff in the world, and you get stuff on film, and I see stuff and say, hey, they check it out, and turns into some of the best stuff in the world.
Oh yeah, you're referring. I know you're part of that. You're referring to that portal that we encountered. The team encountered out in the meadow. David is part of the group with the Meadow Project as well. So for the audience, if you're wondering, and David's one that spotted that portal that night. That was all David's fault.
Yeah.
Right, David?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but you also, you know what? You're one of the OGs of the Bigfooting community, okay? And you've been at BFRO for a long time, and I have had the privilege and the honor of going out with some of the big BFRO folks the past year now. What besides you guys, they're on my teams, okay? Like other BFRO folks. I was up in where's I at Sasquatch Farms up in East Tennessee last year at an event, and I got to hang out with Lori Barnes and them. I just had the best time out there. Just excellent boots on the ground field researchers out there, and they know where the Bigfoots are, David. They really do, and I can appreciate that. And they take a great approach to taking people out and taking groups of people out. And so, people are always asking me, well, do you do expeditions, and how can we get out there? Well, contact your local BFRO, y'all, if you want to go out. They know somebody that knows somebody. I can promise you, that'll take you out Bigfooting, right, David?
Oh yeah, the local investigators. When I was there, it was North Carolina. You could pinpoint an area pretty good, and most of the states have really good investigators. They're very serious about what they do, and they hit it head on. And if you're going to have, seeing a Bigfoot in one time in your life is, that's like winning the lottery. But you spend time with these folks. I've myself personally, and there's always been a witness with me, somebody besides myself that's seen it at the same time. I've had over 100 encounters. Some of them just fleeting, some of them, lasted half the night, but once you pinpoint, when you're looking for a needle in a haystack, it's hard enough to find a haystack, but if you can get it down to that last handful of hay, then you increase your odds of something happening or you seeing something. And getting together with these people that do this, and a lot of them, like myself, that's all that mattered at one point in time in my life. And they know where to look. We know where to look and where they're going to be.
They sure do. Well, you've rubbed shoulders with some of the most incredible people who've had some of the most incredible experiences. And earlier today, you and I were talking about some of those experiences, trying to, kind of getting lined up for the show tonight, I guess. And because you have so many encounters, so many reports, so many things that we got to kind of hone in on a couple every time you come on the show, okay? Because they're just fantastic. And so before we get to those, I know that in the show description tonight, I'd said something about they had the faces of dogs on them. Okay, well, Poppy Two Bears, thank you for being in the chat tonight. Has a comment here and says, "Howdy, Jess and David. I've heard that Native people spoke of dog-faced Bigfoot, not Dogman type. They're called the face eaters. Those are the Gogwe, I guess, and supposedly aggressive." Like the Beast of Seven Shoots. And yeah, we're gonna get into that in a little bit tonight. And so y'all hold your horses. We gotta, so to speak. Okay, we've got some other encounters we're gonna talk about first. Then we're gonna get around to that one tonight because that's a good one. And that report comes from a sheriff's deputy. Okay, so man, well, David, let's get into it. Let's get into some of these encounters that you got, and we've even got a video to show tonight. And where do you feel like starting?
I'm trying not to say the exact location.
Okay.
I can get close. I went to I had nothing to do weekend. Me and my girlfriend, we decided we'd heard about this little festival, Bigfoot festival, that was going to be happening in Cumnock, North Carolina, and it's down on the Deep River, and it's just a little small community outside of Sanford, a little farming community, very quaint, super nice people. So we decided we'd spend our Saturday going down to Cumnock, and we're there, and it's your normal Bigfoot festival. You've got a Bigfoot running around in a costume, taking pictures. There's food, there's speakers, and just having a good time. Just a family day out. And so we go down and we go to they've got a little stage set up, and the guy up there speaking, he actually was a BFRO field investigator at one time, Tommy Poland. And I just sit down, I'm like anybody else in the crowd. I'm just there for the enjoyment of it. And Tommy's up there speaking, and he's showing pictures of the giant tree twist that me and another fellow found in Uwharrie. And he's describing it, and he's giving us all the credit for it. He's just showing it as a piece of Bigfoot evidence. And then he happened to see me sitting in a crowd, and he said, "Well, why am I telling you about it? One of the guys that found it is sitting right here in the crowd." So he wanted me to come up on stage, and I said, "No, you got it. You got it. You're doing fine." And at that point, everybody in the crowd starts coming up to me, and sharing their Bigfoot stories with me that normally they will not say publicly. They won't talk about it once they find out that you're serious about Bigfoot, that they're not afraid to talk to you about it. They're not ashamed to talk to you about it. And just that one little afternoon, I probably got 10 different sightings to check out in that local area. Wow. And they're scattered out, from real extreme local to 10 miles away. So I'm taking names and contact information, and I'll get back with you, later after the festival. And part of one of the folks I met up with was Johnny Jackson. Some people may know him here from North Carolina. He does some local investigations, and he had, as a middle schooler, contacted Sam Parker to check out a Bigfoot sighting that the Parker family had. And so Johnny, in a roundabout way, introduced me to Sam Parker, and I got to be really good friends with Sam Parker. And all of it stemmed from that festival. And for the next 7 years, every time we've done that festival, it's been really in the honor of Sam Parker. If it hadn't been for the Sam Parker or the Parker family encounter, it would have never happened. That was how important the Parker family encounter meant to that community. So I met up with Sam, heard the story. Originally, his mother had that's Sam Parker there. I'm standing beside, and that's a painting that he did. Bigfoot was a passion of his, and he started drawing them. He never got to see one with his own eyes. All he ever got to see was the tracks and hear the roars on the river and all kind of stuff, all the other stuff they do other than laying his eyes on one. But Sam took me in and we investigated the whole area. He told me all about his mother was the first one to ever find one of these tracks. And they had crossed her garden, and they were huge, 17-inch tracks, and with 3 toes. And it scared her. She went back to the house, got her husband out there, got the whole family involved looking at these tracks. And for about a year, they were having encounters with this big, it's a big boy, Bigfoot with 3 toes. And it got to a point that the whole community, and this time frame is around 1976 to 78 time frame, and it got to be like a local legend, and people were showing up with pew-pews and dogs, and DNR actually had to get involved because there were so many people in the woods hunting this creature that they were afraid somebody was going to get shot and killed. Mm-hmm. So, but as you know, later on, bringing it back up to current times, his father did see it in the field when he was planting and on his tractor, and it was swaying and watching him. So other people got to see it. Everybody got to see it but Sam. And but later, whenever we got involved, Sam invited us out. We done night investigations on his property and in the surrounding property. And on one of those investigations, just before he got sick, Sam has since passed. But I was one of the last ones that was fortunate enough to spend time with Sam in the field doing field research. And he before he passed, he shared one of the original casts that they had made back in 76. The original cast was made out of lead, and they melted down fishing weights and to fill this cast. The cast is I've got a copy of it right here. Ooh, it's a big boy. It's
wow.
3-toed. It's 17 inches long.
That's huge.
7 inches across right here, where will be the top of the foot, and it's about 6 inches at the heel. And it was depressed about 1.5 inches into the earth. But there were hundreds of these in the original. When that was cast, there were hundreds of tracks, and people from all over came to see it. And but he allowed me to have a copy of the original, so we had that one made in dental stone. So
I've got the picture pulled up too, so we can see the ruler beside it, the measuring tape, and then your foot. Like that's how massive this is with those 3 toes.
Yeah, that's my foot sitting beside that cast. It's huge. And but we were doing this investigation, and we were using 4-wheelers, and we traveled miles and miles of river bottom land through bean fields, cornfields. And this one particular day, in one of the lower fields, right next to the river, we found a track line of 16-inch tracks, but they appeared to be 5-toed, but they washed a lot of the sand and dirt into the tracks, so you could still see the impressions, but they weren't clear enough to tell how many toes. But it appeared to be 5-toed. It wasn't a 3-toed creature. But I think do you have a couple still shots of that?
I do. Before we go to the still shots, I want to thank Firewater by Design for that super sticker. Thank you. She said, Miss Jessica's rocking out Saturday night with the best show and chat on YouTube. Be sure to hit the like button. Thank you, Firewater by Design. That is so sweet of you. I appreciate your support. It means the world to me. Yeah, let's pull these up. I've got the, let's see. Okay. Are they the river pictures too, or is it the video? Okay, because I got these river pictures. That's not
the
it.
river pictures that I sent you. Those show that's just a general location of the terrain. Okay. Some of the area that we research just gives you kind of an idea of the lay of the land. That sandbar right there, we found a 16-inch track on that sandbar.
Wow.
Coming out of the water, and then one step into the sandbar, and then the next step was onto the grassy bank area, so it didn't leave an impression, but you're talking about a 7-foot stride.
Wow. I have a question for you. Okay, I'm showing the picture of the track line now, and I do have a video to show too. What is it? Just a genetic anomaly? I mean, why would they have 3 toes? It's just a lot of, I mean, because I don't know how common that is. It's not very common to find 3-toed tracks, even though it's not unheard of, completely. Because I know Bob used to even talk about finding 3-toed tracks and stuff. I mean, what has been your experience with 3-toed tracks?
I have never found one. And like that track line that we're looking at there, it runs from about where I'm standing taking the picture to the furthest 4-wheeler away. It's running in a straight line. Those appear to be 5-toed or 4-toed at the least, but genetically, I think with human beings, whenever there's inbreeding, close family members,
oh Lord,
some of the first things that start happening as far as deformities are the digits. You'll get 6 toes, 6 fingers. The digits start. That's one of the first, as
the first thing to go are the digits.
As the gene pool thins, the digits.
Man, as the branches start getting shorter.
And then it gets, hey, we get down to a root ball and you ain't got one toe left. But
those dang Bigfoots, they don't know better. I guess.
Oh my gosh. It's like with white-tailed deer. If a population of white-tailed deer becomes too dense and the gene pool doesn't have enough genetics coming in, that's where you start seeing the albino deer.
Oh,
that's what causes that.
Wow.
But I think that's.
I asked. I got my answer.
That's as close as I can come to it.
That would make sense.
That track line there, we found. Like I said, we spent about 6 hours on 4-wheelers and never touched the same piece of property. And we did find that track line there. And there's a short video I think you have of it. And I'm walking beside it as I'm thinking, and you can see better the metatarsal break on the tracks and get a better look of the tracks.
Okay, I'm going to play the video now, and it's about 8 seconds, and I don't think we're going to be able to talk over it. So y'all watch this video. It's going to be about 8 seconds, and we'll come right back. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're back. All right, that was just a quick little clip just to show you guys a quick little video of those tracks out there. And that is in the same area where those 3-toed tracks were found as well. Wow. That's fascinating. Super fascinating. Now I'm just thinking about inbred Bigfoots now. Okay. Dang it. I actually don't know why I didn't think about that. I didn't think you were going to say that tonight. But I love it, David.
That's what I've heard. That's what discussions around the campfires and That's what. If there's a better explanation, I'd rather be talking about it. But that's.
Oh my gosh. Hey, it's an explanation though, and I gotta say thank you to Caleb Jade real quick. He says us Northern Cheyenne call the Bigfoot the people of the sand. They say that they live in sandstone and rock fields. Thank you for that super sticker, Caleb. That's so sweet of you, and I appreciate your support. There's that video. I think it's like is it the Independence Day footage where they have the Bigfoot mama walking through the boulder field with her baby? Do you remember that one?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they're kind of known to walk through the boulders and stuff with grace and ease. Very, and that video actually has been scrutinized a lot. But when you talk to people like our friend Trey from Squatch Me Now, he and I had a discussion on that video, and it's a mama Bigfoot carrying her baby through some big rocks, like a boulder field. And first of all, for somebody to do that, like dress up in a gorilla suit, to try to, it's just dangerous. And it would be putting the life of whatever, if that was a little kid or something, it'd be putting that child's life in danger, So it's just, it doesn't make sense that would have been faked. Okay. So, but that's great, Caleb. Thank you for that. And so going back, David, to this family, to the mother, when she called her husband and her sons, they came right there to the house. They were ready to go hunt down whatever this was. Something scared her, and they did not take it lightly, right?
No, they were real serious about trying to find out what was making the tracks, what she had seen. They were finding the tracks. Like I said, there were hundreds of tracks. It just, this wasn't one off, where you see one or two tracks. Normally what we find in the field, this was tracks through her garden. It was robbing the pecan trees. They found tracks under the trees, and then all those massive fields, like you just seen a picture of in that one photo. These are huge fields, and tracks all around them. The tracks never really crossed the field. They were always on the outskirts of the field. Every once in a while, Sam had detailed maps of all the track lines that were ever found in that area, and he would mark out exactly where the tracks were. Very seldom did they wander into the field. If they did, they just went in 20, 30 feet into a field and turned around and walked right back out. It was always on the edges of the field. And another thing about these monsters down there, if you want to call them monsters, Bigfoot creatures, whatever, they never really howl. They roar like a lion, like a big deep roar. I've got to hear it myself. That day that we took that video, that afternoon, we were headed back to eat dinner before we done a night investigation, and one actually roared at us from the river. It wasn't 75 yards from us when it roared. You could hear it over the four-wheelers. We were headed back, running 15, 20 miles an hour across the field. You had 3 four-wheelers running, and over the sound of it, you could hear the roar. We immediately shut the bikes down. I took off running. Sam's nephew that was with us, he was around 35, 40 years old. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "You want to see a Bigfoot? Let's go."
You were running towards it, not away. I want to make that clear to the audience. You were running towards it.
Yeah, we were running. I was running dead toward the river. That's where it was, right on the edge of the river. But we had all these river reeds between us and it. And I got about 10 feet into the rivers and into the river reeds, and it whooped 3 times, just real whoop, whoop, whoop. And it dawned on me, what am I doing, dummy? You deep in these river reeds. You can't see, 6 feet in front of you, and you're in here with a monster. So I stopped. But at that point in time, after it whooped, didn't hear any more, didn't hear any brush moving, it was gone. I actually think it went into the water because it went dead silent, just real fast.
Well, something in your gut told you to stop, and that probably saved your life. Okay.
Probably.
Maybe.
I've run at 2 of them before I thought. I was so, you're so anxious to see one in the daytime. I've seen them at night on
Right.
thermal and night vision plenty of times, but those daytime in your face sightings are hard to come by. And I'm like anybody else out there. I want to see it. So.
Oh yeah, me too. We have a question in the chat right quick from Adolf. What's up, Adolf? He's out in California and he's had his own experiences with Bigfoot and Dogmen and even an alien abduction. Okay, at one point. He's been on my show before. He's asking a question. He says, through the Bigfoot gene pool, lack of it. Okay, the lack of the gene pool, would that affect their mental input as to their behaviors if they are, let's just say, inbred? What do you think, David?
It would stand to reason, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I would think so too.
I know when I was with the BFRO, there were a lot of sightings that we took of people who had up close personal daytime sightings. And a lot of the times people would say that the face looked like it was somebody with Down syndrome.
I've seen videos of that actually. I just saw a video yesterday. I think it's Bigfoot Michigan Rob said that his looked like when he saw one, it looked like it had. I think he said it like it had Down syndrome. I've heard that several times, and there's actually a video online of one that looks like that. So,
I mean, I don't know, but it would stand to reason if you're getting the digits are being affected, then quite possibly the mental state is as well. And that could also make, explain some of them are more aggressive than the others.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not.
Yes, I feel you. I agree with you, David. And Kent Baxter, thank you so much for your support. And that super sticker, he says, 2 Bigfoot All-Stars on the same screen. It doesn't get any better than that. Thanks, Kent. I appreciate that. David and I both appreciate that, right, David?
Yeah.
Oh, man. We're just people that like to go out in the woods and get stinky and chase Bigfoots, okay? So it's, I don't know, it's not very glamorous, okay? But thank you for that. I appreciate it. I do. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, let's get back to the Bigfoot. Sorry. That is funny. Okay. Where were we? Before I started asking about the gene pool of the Bigfoots. And Larry Sharp, thank you so much for gifting that Cryptid Huntress membership too. That is so sweet of you. And before we go on, I got Maureen too. Thank you, Maureen. Awesome show tonight. Hit that like button. Thank you, Maureen and Gus, for the super sticker. Okay, David. Sorry. I had to take care of business there. Of course. But okay, so we've gone to the river, we've seen the footprints. Okay, tell me what else has happened to you in that area, and maybe even tell us about your friend. Okay.
Okay. So the Parker investigation, it's still ongoing. Sam Parker, of course, has passed away, but we still go back to that same area. Over the years, we've developed relationships with some of the landowners around there. We have access to private land that's gated, that nobody gets on but us, legally anyway. But one of these pieces of property, we were doing a night investigation at, and we had done a number of them on this piece of property, and it was an area we could drive our vehicles down to and drive get down close to the river. And this one spot, I was driving my older truck. It's a F-250 Super Duty. It's a big truck, 37-inch tires. I think I give you a picture of it for.
I've got it pulled up now.
So that's
a big old truck. That's a real Bigfoot truck right there, David. That's a Bigfoot.
Yep, it's
Super Duty.
It's 7'3" to the top of the roof of that truck is 7'3".
You need a ladder to get in that thing.
Yeah, almost
lifted. We love our lifted trucks down here in the South, y'all. Just so you know, I had one myself for a while.
So that's the truck I was driving at the time, and we were down next to the river, and I'd been down there a couple times, and on this piece of property, the Bigfoot we're coming up. The landowner had a brother that would come there and bring his camper and stay for a couple of weeks. He was retired, so he would come down and stay on the river. And at night, something would come up and slap his camper. He never could see what it was. It would roar at him when he was outside. If he had a fire going at night, just sitting around a fire, enjoying the afternoon, something would come up in the edge of the woods, roar at him. But he had his camper slapped or knocked on his window a couple times. And we were then, from where this gentleman parked his camper, we were just a couple hundred yards away between his camper and the river. So we were right in the middle of that. But this one afternoon, we had gotten down there late, and I didn't feel like setting a tent or anything up. And me and Johnny Jackson actually, we were sitting under my truck together for a little bit with the windows rolled down, just listening to what was going on. We did get to hear samurai chatter. Two of them off on the right-hand side of us in the brush, just talking back and forth to each other. And so we were just sitting there listening, taking it all in. And it got later that night, and I said, well, we had to do we were going to be speaking at the Bigfoot Festival the next day. So we just decided to go to sleep in the trucks. He got out of my truck. He went and got his, which is parked right beside mine. And we hadn't even we hadn't been settled in maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most. I laid my seat back, and just as soon as I got settled in, something popped my window like 3 times, like bam, 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 bam. And I laid there for a second thinking, what was that? And then I just set up. I didn't pop the lever to let my seat up. I just kind of set up, and I looked out my window, and I'm looking out my driver's side window, and it's just black. And I kind of, you can see the skyline, and all I seen was a silhouette of a Sasquatch standing there looking down at me. And he was taller than my truck, and he was looking down. That's the image that I could find that even come close to what I was looking at in the skyline, looking up at me.
Wow.
And it was, just a couple feet away from me. And I'm looking up at it, and I'm staring at it. And I actually had a voice recorder going, and you can hear on the voice recorder, you can hear the window being tapped on, like pap, pap, pap. And then a minute and 30 seconds goes by, and then you hear a whap. Well, we're staring at each other, and I just got this really bad gut feeling there was another one looking in my passenger side window.
Oh, God, surrounded.
So I broke eye contact. I turned my head real fast to look out the driver's side. I was starting to panic. And I looked out my passenger side window, and just as soon as I broke eye contact with it, it slapped my door and walked away.
Where was Johnny? Was Johnny okay? Did he
Johnny
see it?
was in his truck, and right beside me to the right of me, he was on the passenger side of my truck, in his truck. And he had one of those vinyl bed covers. It's just a flat black vinyl bed cover. And he said that something had been, he said it sounded like a brush. Somebody had a bristle brush running it along that liner of his truck.
Ew.
So we think he like either dragging his fingers across that bed cover, or the hair on its arms, real coarse hair or something was rubbing against that bed liner of his truck. But he never seen anything. He just heard something rubbing on his truck. And that was just prior to what had happened to me. And so
that's creepy.
I went ahead and made sure I turned my headlights on. I looked around. It was gone. It was and I was satisfied that it didn't eat me. So I
You were
laid,
just glad you didn't get ate up.
I laid back
Oh my
down,
God.
and I just laid straight back on my seat, and I went on to sleep after that because we had to get up to do a festival. And as a speaker, the people didn't know that they were standing in front of me what had just happened to me just a few hours before, and all that was going through my mind as I was trying to do this uh, speaking engagement that I was doing. But I had just had one of the best Bigfoot encounters just a few hours before, but I didn't talk about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually like to go out too whenever we're doing a conference. A lot of times when we have a Bigfoot festival or a Bigfoot conference, it's where there are Bigfoot sightings. And so you got to make use of your time when you're at places like that. And so every year at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference, there's go up the road a ways. There's places where you can go, go watch for Bigfoots and stuff at night. So I like to do that myself, just about with every event that I do. I go look for the cryptids at night. Okay, so yeah, if I'm a little tired the next day, it's because I was up late looking for Bigfoot. You got to expect that from people whose passion is to go hunt for Bigfoot. Okay, go look for them and investigate. You can't get mad at us. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, man. Well, so
But
y'all had a good conference the next day, and did you tell your story to everybody there about your encounter?
no, not that one. No, I kept it to myself. Of course, my friends that was with me that were in the woods. It was about four of us down there at the time. They knew about it, but it was too fresh in my mind, and I was still trying to. I hadn't even heard the audio recording yet. I wanted to make sure that I had that. Most of the time I don't tell you about anything until I've vetted it myself, and I've got all the, everything I know happened the way it happened. I want to make sure before I share the story. And if I'm not 100%, then you'll never hear about it. But yeah, I should have. I look back on it and I said, I should have had it because it only happened about 3 miles from where we were having a festival at, so it was right there where we're doing it. But I did talk
Oh,
about it. I did talk about it at the next year's festival.
well, I bet a lot of these events that we do. You and I are going to be at the Georgia Bigfoot Fest or conference in about a month or so. And when I go to these events, I know too. People show up because they want to talk about their encounters and they want to hear what we've encountered. Some people are just there to see if Bigfoot's real. Okay, and I understand that. That was like one of the first conferences I ever went to was right after I started going out with Enigma Research Group back in the day in 2011, I guess, back then. And it's comforting to hear other people's stories. So, I think it would have been kind of cool when you're in that area to let the people know what's out there. Okay, but I understand wanting to vet it too to make sure, you know, just to look into it. And there was somebody in the audience tonight that was asking about telepathy and Bigfoot. I guess we can sometimes we can call it mind speak. That's my thing. I'm big onto the mind control aspect of it and the telepathy of just being, learning how to do it as a human, right? Or doing these things as humans. But have you ever had any kind of mind speak happen out in the field and or any kind of telepathy amongst you and the Bigfoots?
No, the closest thing that I've had that would, having something physically happen to me without them touching me would be infrasound or zapping, as we used to call it in the BFRO world. Uh, and that's where they produce a sound that's so low you can't hear it, but you feel the vibrations. And that happened to me in West Virginia. The most severe uh, episode of that happened to me on my first West Virginia encounter, but that's kind of unnerving. Um, I've I've felt it with cougars. Uh, Whenever they can growl, and you can actually feel the growl more than you hear the growl.
Hmm.
Uh, but this, they can make a sound. the closest thing I can describe it is turning up the bass speakers in front of a rock concert, but turning the sound off, but you can feel the beat. I've had that happen a couple times.
I've had that happen too. Today, before we went live on the show, I was telling you that when I was leaving the woods today, I got that weird frequency. And I've not had that at this location before ever. I've heard some weird stuff, but it wasn't like rocks clanging. It wasn't any kind of thing like that. It was a frequency. It was on, and there's nothing out there. There's no electricity running out there. I don't think. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it was a weird frequency, and I started feeling nauseated, and I just didn't feel good. I literally, for a split second, thought about running to my truck. Okay. Because I was like, what is this? This is not right. It felt off. And whether it was a Bigfoot or something else, I don't know. It was something though.
The stuff that you told me with the rock clacks, I've heard that down there in this area. Rock clacks are used right much. To me, I hear rock clacks more than wood knocks. I've actually done wood knocks and got a reply back with rock clacks. So I think today you were close to one, and it used the infrasound to create panic for you to the point you were almost ready to run. The infrasound done its job. It put fear into you and causing you to flee. But I think you were really close to one. You just didn't realize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's always when I'm leaving this location. It's always when I'm leaving, something happens. And usually it's audible where I can hear it. And I always took it as like, oh, there she goes. Goodbye. And I was kind of listening out for it, when I was leaving, and I got that zap. So it was kind of like, well, maybe she's not taking us seriously. So let's make her feel sick this time.
Yeah. And, that's happened. I've never gotten sick. I've gotten frightened. Like the fight or flight comes about. That's happened to me before, to where you get this overwhelming feeling you're going to die. And you've got to move now, right now. There's, you don't even think about it. Your feet start moving before your mind's made it up time to go. But that's, I think that's one of the tools in their toolbox that they use, that, you never see where it come from, but you feel it and it's time to go. And if you had the dog with you today,
I did.
Did it react to it as well?
She had already run ahead by that point. She was already by the truck. So it was just, at that point, it was only me at that moment. Because I had let everybody else run ahead of me. And I always like to stay back a little bit, just kind of watch what happens in front of me, and then listen to see if anything's going to, creep up behind us and stuff. I've got my methods of doing stuff, and I'm sure they were kind of like, oh, she's trying to do that again. She's trying to trick us. So I wasn't trying to trick. I was just trying to observe, and that's where I got hit a little bit. Oh, I was even thinking, I was like, what if there's like humans out here messing with me? That's always, I do have to keep a skeptical mind too. Everything's not always Bigfoot, but knowing what I know about where I was, it's probably Bigfoot. So Jennifer Patterson, thank you for that super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here.
I've been to I've been where you were at today a number of times, and you're in a good spot. But I think that's what it was. Without being there and just taking the information I know about the place and what was going on, and for you to get that feeling. I've been out in the woods a number of times, and I didn't get zapped, but the next person did, and they got nauseated, or actually physically throw up, among other things that's happened to people. But we won't get into. But
it's not a good feeling.
No.
But it is kind of like a rushing out of there. It's kind of like that energetic brick wall sometimes that I've talked about, how I've experienced especially in North Georgia, I've experienced that more than anywhere. It's kind of like there's a line in the sand, and if you cross it, something inside of you says, I cannot cross that line. Like, don't. And even though there's nothing there, but your body senses it. And speaking of spidey senses, we have Dave Scott in the chat tonight. So thank you, Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, for being here. He says, I'm a fan of the Cryptid Huntress. Thank you. I'm a fan of Dave Scott at Spaced Out Radio. So you guys please go over there and subscribe to Spaced Out Radio and listen to them on radio if you hadn't already. Thank you for that super sticker, Dave. I appreciate you. And hopefully I'll see you in Vegas. Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, you have been going out in the woods for more decades than I have, David. Okay. And I know you have, I mean, you said you've been zapped before, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think there's a few people on our teams that have been zapped. I know ERG, those at least one or two of those guys have been zapped. And yeah, it's but zapped is different for every experience though, right? It's not like today I might have been zapped, but it was very mild. Okay, whatever happened to me was like a nauseating zap. Some people get zapped. And it's like an electric zap, almost like a cattle prod or something. Have you ever experienced that kind of zap?
No, but I'm really tuned into the forest. When I step out of my truck into the woods, I've got that. Other than West Virginia, the West Virginia encounter, when I got zapped there, I never want to feel that feeling again. It was that bad. I had never had heartburn in my life. And after that event, I had heartburn for almost 3 years. I ate antacids every day for 3 years. And it really affected me in the woods. And then, but at the same time, it really I wanted to understand what I was messing with. It was not this big hairy ape, that I had always envisioned, like the Patterson footage. It's just a big mountain gorilla that lives in the forest of North America. This added another layer to it of mystery, and it was a driving force for me. I've never been out to prove Bigfoot to anyone but myself. But along the way, I've discovered so much, and like tonight, I'm sharing some of the stuff that I've encountered, but in no way, shape, or form am I saying this is proof that it exists. This is just what I've experienced. But what happened in West Virginia was bad, and all the other times that this happened, it's only happened a handful of times. It's just been that a little, you feel it kind of, and at times it's almost like it's so subtle. You're almost, are you making it up in your own mind that you heard something, but you really didn't, or did you feel something? Your adrenaline is going. Some of these experiences can get really extreme, especially when they get up close. They're 10 foot away from you. They're screaming at you, or you're having a bad night. You're having a good night because you're having this good experience, but at the same time, it's one of the over the top ones, and they charge at you or something, and you get this feeling. But the zapping is completely different. They if you get close and you don't want to go, they hit you with it, not to go any further. Like you said, you hit that brick wall and you're not going to go any further. I can't. I won't. Yeah. I'll leave. I've left a few times.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So I just remembered something that I had forgotten about today. And as you're saying that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just blocked it out is what I did. And now I just remembered when I got in the car, I got in the truck with my dog. Okay. So it was already dark. It was getting dark and I had to get home to come do the show tonight. Okay. So I don't like being out there. If I'm not out there with my team or have like a bunch of people with me, it's best just to get on out there, right, when it gets dark. And so I got my dog in the car, and as I got in the driver's side truck, okay, got my folks in the car. Let's just put it that way. And I had my dog. I just got my dog in the back seat. I just had to dry her off. She was wet, and as I got in the car, I heard a yelp. Or like a scream. It was something. It was some kind of a noise. And I thought it was my brain wanted me to believe it was my dog. But I don't think it was my dog, David. It was something else, and it was close. And my dog did react to that. she did react to it because I was like, in my mind, I thought it was her, but it was something in the woods right where I had just been. And so I can't believe I had to actually block that out until just now. I do remember that. So something may have happened. I might have had an alien abduction out there. I don't know about. I don't know.
I think
There's no telling.
you got close to one today, and
Yeah.
as you go back more and more and more, they got used to you. More and more stuff.
That's why I keep going back. I keep going back to the same place because I know they're getting to know me. I've been going there for a while.
And if you have the dog with you, they won't get real close.
Yeah. Well, it was after she got in the car.
Yeah.
Is when I heard that. So, yeah, I didn't have her on a leash or anything, too. So, and I don't want her getting hurt, David. You know, it's not real smart to take. I never take my dog out when we do our Bigfoot research weekends and weeks and whenever we're out there. I would never take my dog out there because it's dangerous, you know. But when it's just me and the family, you know, I'll take her out there. But nonetheless, oh man. Well, you had mentioned Johnny Jackson, and you said that he had done a report on that family, right? Was it on the family that had the Bigfoot experiences?
And, Johnny actually, he done a book report on it. I think it was middle school. He done a full book report on the Parker investigation.
Wow.
As a child, and then 30 years later, he goes back out there and is actually boots on the ground investigating with Sam Parker. So
that's wild.
Followed it up.
I mean, imagine that when you're a kid and you do a book report on a local legend of a local family that had Bigfoots on their property, and then you go and you get to go out and do Bigfooting with the family. Okay, one of the guys. That's wild. I know when I was in high school, I had a fascination with a local fortune teller named Mahaley Lancaster, and I did a mass media project and a new show on her, put together a video. And just about a couple months ago, my friend Bryce and I went out to her grave as adults. And she's kind of the thing that kind of bonded she and Bryce and I together was a story of Mahaley. We feel like Mahaley brought us together actually as friends. And so it was really cool getting to go out there. And I can only imagine the excitement that he felt going out there and doing some Bigfoot investigating with the Parker family, with the Parker.
Yeah, and Sam was one of those men. He was very down to earth. He would give you the shirt off his back. And when Johnny reconnected with him after 30 years,
wow,
Sam jumped on the opportunity, and it kind of re-sparked the fire to go search for the creature that had been, giving him the slip for all these years. Sam was a deer hunter. He bow hunted. He, black powder rifle the whole season, and he had been run out of the woods a number of times while bow hunting, with it screaming at him. But Sam was scared to death of it. He didn't like doing the night investigations with us. We'd go out, out and do our thing at night, and as Bigfooters, we own the night, right?
Yes,
Sam didn't like going out there at night, but he'd go out there all day long with you. But it started getting dusky dark. It's time to go back and eat. So, but Sam was a good guy. I hate he's gone. He's missed. He's kind of like a Grumpy. He's one of those people that just sticks with you, and you hate to see their passing. Life's not forever, but you hate them. You hate it when they're gone.
Oh my gosh. He sounds like a fantastic guy and a lot of experience. And I'm so glad that you got to hang out with him and meet him and become friends with him in that time that you knew him. And, you said we own the night. Well, that's interesting. That's like the logo, the tagline for Spaced Out Radio, where I used to have a show. We own the night. I don't know, when you're out in the woods at night, us humans, we feel like we own the night, but I think the Bigfoots own the night, actually. They're definitely the ones that they rule the forest out there when we're out there. We are not the top of the food chain.
No. We're
definitely not.
But we go and do a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't even step out of their car and I spent 3 days in the Florida Everglades chasing these things, and a lot of people won't even get out of the car and step off into the swamp. And we spent 3 days out there, and we tracked followed a track line for over a mile. Me and Don Tart through ankle deep water, wearing snake boots, and
Oh God.
was having a good time.
As long as you get on snake boots, I'm totally down for that. As long as I got on snake boots, there's no gators in the water, I'd be all right.
Oh, there was gators everywhere. We had
Oh God. Never
one
mind.
place
I'm out.
I was trying to measure a track, and it was underwater, and it was in the gator pond. And
Oh no.
I had
I
the
don't think I
sun.
would have done that.
I had the sun to my back, so I'm backing into the water so I could see without the reflection of the sun blinding me. And Don, this big gator, kept coming up, and he was probably at least 10 feet. And he would come up in the middle of the gator pond, and he would go down. And Don say he's getting closer, and he'd come back, and he'd then close the distance by half. By the time I got out of the water, that gator was 25 feet away.
Oh my God.
So, that's all the track measuring I'm doing today.
I mean, I love Bigfooting, but it's not worth risking my life like that.
I was younger.
Not.
I don't think I would do it today, but
Oh,
then
geez. Was it nighttime or daytime? That's my
that was
question.
in the daytime.
Day. Yeah.
That was actually
Oh,
our
geez.
friend Craig Jackson.
Yeah, Action Jackson. Yeah.
That was
Craig's on the show.
That was where I met Craig Jackson. That was in Big Cypress.
Oh yeah. I think he's telling me about that. He's telling me about he was talking about the green swamp with me one night, the first time I ever went out Bigfooting with him, and him getting yelled out of the green swamp.
Yep.
It had something to do with him having to go to the bathroom, I think. So I'm going to leave it there. Okay, we've got funny stories, y'all. Oh, but we are like a big family, though. Okay, so we got stories. We got lots of stories. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So are Johnny and Craig related? By the way, are they related somehow?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Oh man.
Just action to action.
Oh man. Well, okay. So let's move on to, can we talk about the reports that you took and that you guys have of I know I had mentioned about the sheriff's deputy having those interactions. Let's talk about that because that really stood out to me today when you and I were talking.
Well, part of investigating this area, of course, you get to meet new people. Anytime you go into a new area, you get all these contacts. And one of the folks that I talked to, I won't mention names, and I'm still trying to dig up the full story. But there was a sheriff's deputy in one of the counties there that is really close to the Parker place, who was doing night patrol, and he was on this old dirt road. How can I word this? Anyway, as a dirt road, it's paved now, but at the time he was patrolling down this dirt road, and he rolled up on what he thought were three people fighting in the middle of the road. And of course, the headlights are shining out, and all they could see was the legs, and it looked like three people wearing, either dark jeans or blue jeans. It was just dark. And so he got out fully expecting to confront three people that were fighting in the middle of the road. And when I mean fighting, there was one standing in the ditch. Now, this is the story I've heard from a reliable source. One was standing kind of in the ditch of the road. The bigger of the three was picking up one of the other ones and body slamming it down onto the road. And it was a pretty violent fight. And so he went up to stop this fight, to intervene. And as he got closer, they stopped fighting and started walking toward him. And when they did, he described hairy type, Bigfoot type creatures, but with more of my understanding of it is more of a dog looking face. Now, whether it was a Bigfoot with an elongated snout, which I have seen those, or it was, the German Shepherd type head or a werewolf type head. I've not nailed that detail down, but I've heard that this person has went on and done a podcast and talked about it. But I'm still trying to track that down. I actually have someone in the know that knows this person. I'm trying to get some more information. I actually sent a text when we got off the phone earlier today, talking, trying to nail that down. And he called me, and I was out doing honeydew work, and I missed the call. But that happened really close to the Parker thing, and that may be, the Dogman. To me, I've never run across a Dogman, but I've seen Bigfoot that look like could be to me, all the Bigfoot look like a dog in the face anyway. They look more canine than ape, the ones that I've interacted with, except for that one in Cumnock. I showed you a picture of it looking between the trees, and that one, to me, it's a monster.
It was dog-like. Okay, well, here's my thing. When I've gone on investigations to go track down some dogmen, or what people thought were dogmen, it actually ended up being whatever. Now, I'm not saying there weren't dogmen that night when the guys were being surrounded by something. But when I went out there, we had the exact same type of activity that they said they had. And the guys were with us that had the activity. Not the exact same type of activity. We had some activity, though. It was Bigfoot out there. Okay, so Bigfoot, I think that maybe sometimes they get misidentified as being dogmen, because the dogman is kind of the hot thing right now. Everybody's like, oh, dogman this and dogman that. You turn on YouTube and all the shows are about dogman. Okay, a lot of shows, there's a lot of, people are really fascinated in dogman. But in my experience, when I go out and do the investigations where there may be dogmen involved, it's usually Bigfoot sign that we end up finding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, my I've been on here before talking about it and on other shows as well. And and this is just my personal feeling about Bigfoot. Everybody calls it like the North American great ape. All my experiences and what I've seen of them, and I've had some pretty up close personal encounters with them. Very good. I've got to see them up close and personal. They remind me, and they resemble a dog or a canine species more than an ape. But that's just me. They're a lot of their vocalizations are wolf-like or coyote. They're dog-like. They roar. They, the only thing that they do that I've heard that's ape-like is some of their chatter and the whoop. But the whoop is more, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It could be almost like a yap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
I think the Dogman is a Bigfoot. Unless I see one with a tail. And I haven't seen one with a tail yet. But if it's out there, I want to see it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if there's something out there, you'll find it if you go looking for it.
Yeah. I need to go to one of your Dogman spots, and
yeah,
because these things seem to be centralized in one area. And I don't think if there's a Dogman out there, or what would be classified as a Dogman, I don't think Dogman and Bigfoot would co-inhabit the same piece of property.
You don't?
I think they would clash.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about that in just a minute, because I have a really interesting comment here on the screen from just there 6X. He says, Gugway are commonly reported to have 3 toes. So that's interesting. Okay, so Gugway are commonly reported to have 3 toes. You had 3 toe prints in the area on the property of that family. And that's the print that you have. And if a Gugway has a snout Like they're always reported as having, just like the Beast of Seven shoots. I think that's up in Canada,
Yep.
where they had that right across from New York, over on that side of Canada. It very well could be Gugway out there, which are classified technically as Bigfoots. Let's see. I may even have a picture of on my thing here. Let's see.
I could tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, and you've been in the woods with me quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And you know I don't carry a pew-pew.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
When I go to this area, the Parker investigation, that's the only place that I carry.
Oh.
These they give off a very bad vibe. They're, most of the time a Bigfoot's going to keep his distance. These will close the distance, just like he come up and knocked on my truck window. It rubbed its fingers or its arm across Johnny Jackson's truck bed cover. These come up to you. They're very, they're a lot more aggressive.
I was going to say, they ain't scared of humans, that's for sure, apparently.
I mean, for one to roar at us in broad daylight,
It's not typical.
It's not a typical thing that a Squatch would do. A Squatch would stand there and let you drive right past it, and you never even knew it was there. This thing actually roared at us, where we would have just passed on by and never known it was there. But this one roared at us in broad daylight, and and then when I take off running toward it. I mean, I'm running, and then it just whoops. It whoops 3 or 4 times, and it's gone. But that's not typical Bigfoot behavior. The whooping is, but for them to acknowledge that they're there, that's not normal. Usually they're the masters of hide and seek, and this thing lets you know that it's there in broad daylight. I carry there. I don't spend the night there anymore either.
Yeah, I don't blame it. Not in your truck, huh?
No. And then,
oh my gosh,
that's in a truck that's surrounded by some sheet metal and some thick glass, much less laying in a tent. Nah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back now to what you said about the Bigfoots and Dogmen. Probably, if they're 2 different entities, let's just say they're Bigfoots and Gugways, like a baboon looking Bigfoot or a Dogman looking Bigfoot, but it's actually big. I know this, like, it's so wild that we have so many categories of Bigfoots and stuff. Even of Dogmen, there's like 5 or 7 different types of Dogmen too. Okay, that have been described in encounters and reports. Okay, and eyewitness accounts. Some people claim, okay, and I'm gonna go there. Some people claim that Bigfoots and Dogmen have been seen like working together and stuff. And I don't know. I don't think it's completely impossible. Okay. Let's just say there are 2 different factions, right? And they're the Dogmen. I believe they're Dogmen. I believe they're Bigfoots. There could be there's also Gugways probably. And I know for sure that there's Bigfoots. Okay. And I have definitely gone to chase Dogmen, but I still haven't encountered one. I may have encountered Dogmen, actually. I may have, and I just didn't know. I thought they were Bigfoots. But anyways, okay. You don't think that they would ever be in the same vicinity together? Ever?
I don't see it. I don't think 2 different family groups of Bigfoot. You've got Clan A over here in say Uwharrie. Uwharrie is my research area where I know the most about and I've had the most experiences. It's the same Bigfoot family that's been there the whole time. I mean, I've got pictures of one that's on his mama's hip, and I may be sharing that in Georgia. I hadn't decided if I do, it'd be the very first time that's ever been released to the public.
Oh, you should. I would love that, man. I think people would love to see that.
It's a trail cam picture, and it's like when trail cameras first came out after film. So that's how old it was. I don't forgot what it's not a very clear picture. You can see her standing there. You can see the baby on the hip.
Mhm.
But
I've
then I'm
seen it.
now,
You showed me the picture
yeah,
before.
I've
You can
shown
see
you that
it,
picture. You've seen it. It's not the clearest photo, but
but
you
you can
go,
tell what it is.
yeah, you go back to the technology. You know, we got game cameras now that are crystal clear. Back then, you know, the technology was just coming out to get electronic photo, and the pixels are not there, but it's there. You can plainly see the baby on the hip. You've seen the photo.
Mhm.
Uh, but now that baby, I've followed that baby growing up all these years, and now it's the adult male that's the alpha male of that group. It's the same family unit. Big Daddy, I haven't seen evidence of him in a number of years, and I think the one I nicknamed Matthew, uh, he's the adult male now, and he's the one that controls that group. But he doesn't leave there and go to another territory and intermingle with those Bigfoot. I think the only time they mingle is just like whitetail deer, you know, when the young bucks get up big enough to start mating, you know, Big Daddy runs them off until he no longer can. And then the next strongest one takes over. And I think that's the way it works in the Bigfoot world. But Bigfoot intermingling with Dogman, if there is a type. But I will say this: I have seen in the same group, they're just like Bigfoot are just like people. You've got short people, fat people, skinny people, tall people. Bigfoot are the same. Uh, there's no individual that everyone's an individual, and everyone has one of them may have a bigger nose than the next one, just like humans. And you get some with a longer face, some with a rounder face. I think a lot of what we're seeing out there is, everything what I've seen is a Bigfoot. Other than this other stuff that we're not talking about the other night,
Yeah.
the supernatural Bigfoot, uh, which is not a Bigfoot in my opinion. Uh,
What is it?
I've
You think
had
it's
it
an
on the
alien?
show. I don't know what
You
I
think
don't.
it's an alien?
Yes, I do.
Because you are one of the few people that I know firsthand that have real evidence of it looks like aliens. You've been on the show. We did it. We talked about it the last time you came on the show. You had that video that you showed us,
Yep.
and you've got like little people marching through the woods like a single file line. You got all sorts of fantastic evidence, David. I mean, some of the best evidence of things that most people have never seen or you could even fathom are real. You have video evidence of this stuff.
Yeah, and when I got that evidence, I wasn't looking for it. I was out doing Bigfoot. Bigfoot is my passion. Bigfoot is what I love. It's all what I've always been interested in. You know, it's when I die, my family will probably put a Bigfoot on my tombstone, right? At work,
Yes.
my nickname at work is Bigfoot. Everything's Bigfoot, Bigfoot, Bigfoot.
Oh
Uh,
gosh, I'm
I'm
getting that
not
nickname too by
I'm not
people.
as mainstream as a lot of the other guys out there and do this and do their latest and greatest. I'm old school. I do it the old way. It's research. It's this stuff that's out there. I wasn't looking for it when I captured it on video or a still shot, or it finds me just like Bigfoot found me in 2006 in West Virginia. I got luck of the draw. The stars line up perfectly for me all the time. Stuff happens to me and I can't explain it, but this stuff shows up. I take its picture, but I don't know what it is. And then all my experiences with Bigfoot and the eye shine. It's something's never felt right about eye shine, and that's where I've started putting together this theory that we've got the flesh and blood Bigfoot, and then you've got this other thing that resembles a Bigfoot. And a lot of times when we're in the woods, we're thinking we're dealing with a Bigfoot, where we're dealing with this other thing that has showed up. I've seen it a number of times. It's a lot of times it's invisible to the human eye, but you could pick it up on FLIR or night vision. I mean, I've had one charge at me, and You can look at it with the natural eyes. It's coming at you, and you see two red eyes shining, coming at you at a fast rate of speed. You're looking at it with night vision through your right eye, looking at it, and all you can see is the brush parting. You don't even see the eye glow. Explain
Wow.
that. I don't know what that is, but
Oh
that's
gosh.
happened a number of times. I've seen,
Mhm.
in those instances when something happened like that, I can see the eye shine way off in the, you're in the middle of a national forest. There's no ambient light. There's no, it's a dark night. It's cloudy. There's no starlight, no moonlight. The woods are as black. You can't see a hand in
Yeah.
front of your face. And then you see a set, a couple times, multiple sets of eyes glowing back at you like silver disc, right? Or red. My color red. I'm colorblind. It's usually a brown, looks brownish, but I know that's supposed to be red. Uh, Looking back at you. But when you look up at it with a thermal or you look at it with night vision, you can't see it. What is that? You can't place a body with the eyes that are shining, but you can plainly see the eyes. You can see them blink. They'll blink. What is that?
Wow.
But for the last 20 years, I thought that's Bigfoot eye shine. But now I'm starting to learn as technology's building and have access to better technology. I can't put a type body with those eyes that are shining.
Oh my
That,
gosh.
that's what's
David.
that's what's bothering me the last 5 years. That's what's really been bugging me, trying to figure out what it is.
Gosh, I'm so glad you're bringing this up tonight, because like the head of my first original team always said, he was always like, all roads lead back to ET. That's what he would always say. All roads lead back to ET, and it's kind of true. It's kind of true. It's real trippy. Let's just say it's trippy, and so nothing shocks me or surprises me anymore, and I think that I talk about supernatural Bigfoot quite often, because there's that X factor. That's what we've always been calling it, is the X factor. We just don't know what it is. Okay, there's really no explaining. Are they just supernatural? Do they have super abilities? You know, or are they not all Bigfoot? The ones that just disappear right in front of you. Is it adaptive camouflage, or are they not really Bigfoots? Gosh, okay, you just threw another wrench in the engine for everybody that's watching tonight, by the way,
Well,
which is
you have
awesome.
you have access to some information I've been trying to get hold of.
Yeah,
Angela Shear, she's passed away now.
Angela. Yeah,
Okay, I met Angela at in Clayton, Georgia, at the Bigfoot UFO conference. Right,
she was. I think she was the head of Tennessee MUFON, right? She was part of Tennessee
she
MUFON, I
was
think.
she was the state director, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, we were talking and talking Bigfoot shop and UFO shop, and she showed me some of her evidence. That's where I got to see the orb go in behind the tree, turn it into the little ball headed dude, and take off running, and then turn back
Hmm.
to an orb and fly to the.
Wait, that's the video that Matt has.
Yeah,
That's
that
the one that he
that was
shows at all the conferences now. He won't show it on my show yet.
yeah
I'm gonna
that
have him
was
show it one day.
Angela Shear showed me that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where he got it from.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I don't know if he ever said that publicly, but anyways, I don't know. He might
anyway,
have.
we were talking, and I've been she was telling me we were comparing Bigfoot notes, and at that time, Bigfoot and UFOs were completely opposite. They
Right.
that in my life, Bigfoot was over here and UFOs were over here. They never
Wait,
intermingle.
you're with BFRO. She's with MUFON. Those two organizations are
Yeah,
notorious for not combining the
yeah,
two.
didn't too.
Notorious.
Right. So,
I could imagine that conversation, how that went down.
well, to me, just like West Virginia and the three sticks that were built between us, the stick structure, that stuck with me more than the whole experience of getting the hell scared out of me, right? That stuck with me. My conversation with Angela Shear, uh, the one conversation piece that stuck with me, and she didn't live long enough for me to clarify when, where, and the hows. I just remember bits and pieces of our conversation, but she investigated and had evidence of a UFO flap, and I can't remember what state. I think it was Ohio, of these craft that were landing, and Bigfoot type creatures with red glowing eyes were seen, witnessed by police officers, multiple people coming out of the craft, and they looked like Bigfoot with red glowing eyes.
Whoa.
And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm dealing with in a lot of times in Uwharrie. Is this what I'm dealing with? You know, and then we fast forward how many years has it been since she passed?
Several.
Several. And then all of a sudden I'm in Uwharrie researching Bigfoot, and all this other weird stuff is coming out on top of me. It's like the, you know, O.J. Simpson, the glove fit the hand. You know, it's
If the glove don't quit or don't fit, you must have quit.
it's like
Yeah.
stuff starting to add up that
Yeah.
I didn't have 15 years ago. You know, all it takes is one little bitty piece of the puzzle, and you see the whole picture. I'm
Yeah.
putting those pieces together, and it's just by stuff that's happened to me, you know, in just the last few years. A lot of weird stuff. You know, a lot of it. You've seen it.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff that has happened to me, and I have witnessed firsthand. I would never have believed it. Never would have believed it had I not seen it and recorded it and have it, a picture of it that I took.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all starting to come together.
And we're
But
connecting the dots, David. That's what I love doing on this channel, is connecting dots. And I know this sounds so wild to a lot of people. Believe it, y'all. This is so great that that you are always connecting dots. That's why I really love researching with you, David, and even bringing you on the show. And Cat Chaser, thank you for that super sticker, by the way. I appreciate your support. We even have World Bigfoot Radio. We got Duke in here tonight too. What's up, Duke? Thank you for being here as well. But connecting these dots. Okay, here's another thing with the red eyes, the red eye glow. People oftentimes say that, and some people are dead set on this. And you might, now that Bigfoots with red glowing eyes could be ET related, right? Let's just say that. Let's look at the demonic aspect of it, because people want to talk about, say, you know, anything with red eye shine or red eye, not shine, but eye glow is demonic. And I've been hearing that more and more and more and more this past year, especially. What's the connection there? Or aliens, demons? Like, what is your thought on all that?
my personal opinion,
Mm-hmm.
the UFO phenomenon, the aliens, they're demons.
Okay.
I
What's
mean,
your opinion on it?
that they're the fallen angels. They're
Okay.
demonic. That's
Okay.
my. I mean, and what I've seen them put together, when I've seen the red eye shine, I mean, I don't know how many times I can't. I've lost count of the times that I've encountered eye shine in the woods. And the times that I know that I've been around a Bigfoot, and that's what I was dealing with, and that's what I was having an encounter with. The only time that I've ever seen Bigfoot eye shine is either a headlamp was shining in its face, a campfire glowing, a lantern. There's always been some sort of artificial light or natural light from a fire or a headlight or something of that nature to make that Bigfoot's eyes glows. I even have it on video. I've got 47 minutes of video of a Bigfoot leaning up against a tree. It's the one I nicknamed Matthew. He's leaning against a tree. And when he stares dead at the IR camera, and I've got a trick that I've picked up and developed over the years of how to get one on film, and it's hard, but you can outsmart them. But whenever he looks directly at that IR camera, his eyes glow. When he takes his eyes away from it, they don't glow anymore. But
Whoa.
it's always been a kind of a whitish eye shine. Every time that I've seen, and it's always been a very benign feeling. Yes, it's a monster in the woods. It's this big hairy creature out there. You got to respect it, but I'm not fearful of it. I don't really feel any fear. there's been times when they scream at you. Yeah, you say, okay, it's time to go. But every time that I've encountered this red eye shine, I get this overwhelming feeling of evil, if that makes sense.
Ooh,
I get a bad feeling off of the red eye shine.
yeah.
And I'm colorblind, so I don't really see the color red. I see it's a brownish color to me. But anytime I've seen that, I've gotten this really bad, overwhelming feeling of evil. Just like, I'm a Christian,
Mhm.
and I can go into a certain building or I can be around certain people, and I know that I'm dealing with someone that is not of the Christian faith. I can feel it. I can
Mhm.
sense it. Uh, I've yeah, let's get too personal. We won't talk about it. But
Okay.
I get that feeling, and it's always with the red eye shine ones.
Yeah. So you're picking up on more than just seeing the eyes. I mean, if you were just in their presence and you didn't see the eye shine, you would pick up on it regardless,
Yeah.
even if you didn't see the red eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But overwhelmingly, not one time have I seen red eye shine that I got, the cool feeling that we're dealing with a Bigfoot. It's always been very dark.
Mm. Well, how often have you encountered something that you felt that was like demonic? I mean, it's pretty rare, right? It's not the majority of your experiences, I would hope.
Up until 2012,
Hmm.
everything was pretty benign. It was Bigfoot. After 2012, everything has gotten weird. Um,
It's
I,
gotten
I
weird.
I didn't have any weird encounters, UFOs, aliens, the red eye shine. Maybe just once or twice with their red eye shine prior to 2012. After 2012, it seems like it's more. 3/4 of my experiences have been uh, non Bigfoot.
Hmm.
It's been reptilian. It's been the little people. Uh, Whatever this white face I shared on your show last time. It's got
Hmm.
uh, a pure white face.
It looked like something with a mask on to me,
Yeah,
honestly. And I've seen videos of this before where it looked like, I think that actually on the intro of my show that I had on Spaced Out Radio, I think that there was a clip of that video there, and it was some people that had pulled up next to a pasture, I think, in their car, and there was a hay bale, and there were like two creatures peeking out from behind it, and they looked just like what you showed on the show. It looked like it almost like a Bigfoot with a white mask on its face, or some kind
yeah.
of face paint or something. Real creepy, super
And,
creepy.
you know, I took those photos in September. I think it was. It was the weekend after Hurricane Helene went through North Carolina and destroyed the mountains. It was the
Mhm.
next weekend. I went to the woods. I just took a day trip, and I actually got that photo and the little alien dude behind the tree.
Mhm.
Uh, that was broad daylight. They come. And I had to leave the woods. I got my photos. I took the pictures the best I could, uh, and I got out of there. I got that bad feeling that I'm dealing with evil
Mhm.
or deception or you know
Something corrupt.
yeah. And I was by
Yeah.
myself, and I go to the woods by myself all the time. But
Mhm.
when these things show up, if had it been a Bigfoot, I know I wouldn't have had that same feeling. I would have probably talked to it. I'd have waved at it and said, "Hey, buddy, here's a pack of crackers. I'm going to leave it for you. When I leave, I'll leave them some crackers or a snack." Right? That's just the way I deal with the ones in Uwharrie. I built up a relationship with them for last 20 years. Right?
Even those chickens.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
So
I don't condone leaving, gifting all the time, y'all. Be real careful about gifting, right,
yeah,
David? I mean,
that's in the middle of the national forest that I gift. I don't
yeah.
gift at my house. I have them around the area I live. I don't gift here. No, I don't want to go to the garbage can and come face to face with one.
Yeah,
Uh,
they'll be going through your garbage all the time too.
I want to go
digging
look for
through.
them somewhere else, not here. Even though I've got them,
Yeah.
pictures of them here, but in tracks. But I
Yeah.
try not to interact with them where I live.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I would definitely be careful about doing that for sure. Okay, we actually got some comments in here about the relationship between aliens, Bigfoots, and Dogmen and stuff. And I know that through our team's research and things like that, it's not uncommon for, and these are from some eyewitness reports too, from people that have been on my shows have talked about the relationship between like gray aliens and Bigfoots too. Okay, and it's usually the Bigfoots working for the gray aliens. Okay, like the aliens are like the top of the food chain, even though they're little and stuff. I don't know. What do you think about that? With maybe it's some kind of mind control or something that because Bigfoots are way bigger than them. You think that
Well,
they'd be controlling the aliens?
does it go back to what Angela Shear told me with the sighting that she had reports of Bigfoot type creatures exiting craft? Are people seeing that creature associated along with the grays?
Oh man, so
Do
they're
you know
all
what I'm saying?
ETs.
So there's you got your flesh and blood Bigfoot that's benign, that you campfire buddies Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this other thing that's similar, very similar. They look very similar. If you looked at it from a distance, oh, it's a Bigfoot. But if you've seen it come out of a craft, then it's an alien Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess.
are people seeing craft associated with these Bigfoot and alien? If not, then I think, yes, the aliens could be using a Bigfoot type creature with the red eye shine as the heavy lifters, the slave race that that they're using, just like we use, horses and mules and stuff to do heavy lifting and heavy work. Are they doing the same thing with the Bigfoot type creature to do their heavy lifting?
Okay. Well, the first time I ever had any kind of Bigfoot activity, first time I ever went Bigfooting with ERG was when we had UFOs flying like low. We had a low flying UFO over. It was JT and I actually. Okay, and we that was the same night we had it like an orb floating over us. Ended up being like a little train, like a craft. And when the team got out there and JT and I were hiding in the wood line, okay, we were hiding, trying to hopefully a Bigfoot was going to come step on us and zap us. That was what the plan was. But we sat out there for a long time, and the group came out there and made a bunch of noise and stuff in the middle of this field. And they were seeing red lights in the tree line right beside us where we were sitting. They didn't know where we were. We were hiding. And they thought it was us. But it was about 10 feet from where we were sitting. Both of us. So we did have Bigfoot activity out there the night before. We had Bigfoot. That was the night that something invisible ran up behind me and knocked my legs out from behind me. It's really odd that now that you're saying that, it's kind of, wow, it's kind of changing my perspective a little bit on what exactly was going on. Maybe they're not all big. What we think is Bigfoot is not Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I love how you have an open mind about it. And obviously I have to have an open mind about it too, because it's not what we think it is.
And see, I didn't used to be like that. They were two complete separate different things. I believed in both, but they never got mixed together. But as my experience builds and I have more and more encounters, I've got enough of this encounter and I've got enough of that encounter to sit back and what's the similarities and what are the differences.
Mm-hmm.
And I can now kind of draw a line and say this is Bigfoot and this over here on the right is this other. We think it's Bigfoot, and all along I thought it was Bigfoot. But now I've had enough experiences to put two and two together and say, nah, it ain't adding up right. Right? And some of this woke math, 2 is 5, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. You've got good points here. You're making me rethink things.
Well, until I talked to Angela Shear and we had that conversation, just an hour-long conversation. I would have loved to really sit down with her and pick her brain and let her pick my brain, and we might have been able to solve world peace right there in
Yeah.
Georgia. But she, just a little bit of information that I got from her put the puzzle for me. It was that one final piece that said, "Nah, we're dealing with two separate things, and this is this, and this is possibly this." That was whenever she told me about the Bigfoot type creatures coming out of that craft with red glowing eyes. It just fell into place all along. Well, the night of the little alien reptilian looking guys, the 30-inch tall guy in between the forks of the V tree.
The one that we showed on the channel on our show the last time you came on.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were out Bigfooting. We were doing a Bigfoot investigations in my research.
You weren't
area.
looking for that little thing. You were looking for Bigfoot.
I was really close to Uwharrie when I filmed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were having rocks thrown at us, normal Bigfoot activity, Bigfooting
Typical.
activity that you would have, and then that stopped, and then these guys showed up. So, I think I read in the comments somewhere that the aliens are abducting Bigfoot. Maybe they're out there, the aliens are investigating us and Bigfoot at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
Who
Or
knows?
maybe they're one of the same. I mean, we just don't know. And the more we think we got it all figured out, the longer we're out in the field, the more we realize we don't know anything. We know what we know, we experience what we experience, but then there's always like a wrench that gets thrown in the engine at some point. Kind of like tonight with this conversation, David. This is wild, and I love it. That's why I love having people like yourself on the show, David, that have such an open mind. I think just about everybody we go out in the field with has a very open mind like this, because you kind of have to be able to bob and weave with the information and go with the flow with all these experiences that we have. We have to just kind of have to just go with the flow of it with it, and see where it leads us.
And all these experiences I talk about on here, I talk about them. It was my experience, but every single one that I talk about in public, every single one of them, there was always 2, 3, 4, 5 people with me that experienced it right along with me. And we all seen the same thing, It wasn't just me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we're usually out there with teams. I mean, I'm never out in the woods at night by myself, and usually if I experience something, everybody experiences it. Whoever we're all out there with, not always, but sometimes. And oh, Diaries of a Wandering Artist. Thank you for that super sticker. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate that.
But there is one exception, and that was the last thing I got back in September. That white face thing and the little gray. I was by myself when I took those photos, but I went back the very next weekend with Ed Peters, and we got more photos. Same thing, daytime. So,
do you get more activity when you're out there by yourself? You think? I mean, because it sounds like you've always you get just as much when you got people with you. It sounds like, but when I'm out, I hardly ever go out by myself ever. I try not to, honestly. I've always got at least a dog with me, no matter what. But I think that I get more activity when I am by myself. And I'm not trying to say I'm out there by myself ever, but I have gone, and I have gotten more activity when I was alone out there. And I don't know. What about you?
Going back to West Virginia, what happened to me in West Virginia, it really changed my outlook on the woods. And for about 3 or 4 years, I could not sleep in a tent in the woods. I could sleep out on the ground just fine, but I could not sleep in a tent. And as you know, you go out with all your friends. There might be 10 people in our group, and at 2:00 in the morning, everybody goes to bed. And I could not physically crawl into a tent. I had to see what was going on around me. I mean, that's how frightening what happened to me in West Virginia. It was bad. The girl that was with me about went into shock. It was bad. Mm-hmm. I didn't think I was coming out of the woods. But those nights, and there was many of them, probably 100 nights, that I sit up around a campfire by myself, and everything that I know about Bigfoot, just about, I learned by myself at night, interacting with Bigfoot all night long. I sit there and deal with them face to face all night long, but I couldn't crawl into a tent.
Well, the
And
tent, you want to be able to like see what's going on around you. I
yeah,
understand
I
what
had
you're
to.
saying. You don't want to be confined in a little, piece of material where you can't see what's going on around you
Yeah.
360
And,
degrees. I get
and
it.
see, it happened more than once when I finally give in. I couldn't hold my eyes open any longer, and I would go crawl into a tent.
You crawled.
They would walk
Dang.
right as soon as I put the zipper up and I got in my tent and got settled in. They would walk right past my tent and rub their fingers across the
Oh
tent,
God.
or they would walk close
Oh
enough to
God.
every single time. And so that just instilled in me, don't go to bed till the sun comes up. I mean, I've woken my wife up getting in the tent, and she would hear it and she'd say, "Was that what is that what just walked past the tent, touched the tent?" And I said, "Yeah." And you'd hear it hit the road and walk down the road, hit the gravel, walk away. It was just like, ha ha, I outlasted it tonight. Next
They'll
week we'll do
always
it again.
they'll always outlast us, David. They're the ones that own the night, remember?
But
They will. Oh man, it was just waiting for you to do that. It
it
was
was.
waiting for you to do that.
And I built this relationship with these squatches in Uwharrie to the point I could tell you what they were going to do next because I'd spent so many nights with them. Everybody else went to bed, and the next morning I'd tell everybody what happened, and you know, and then the next night they would try to stay up longer, and they would get all the experiences. After they throw so many rocks at you, the first couple times is exciting, but after the 100th rock that's been thrown at you, it kind of gets old, right? But to me, every rock meant something. Every rock that was thrown in there, every sound that was made, I picked up on how they coordinate with each other. I learned a lot by myself sitting in the woods when everybody else was asleep and snoring. Uh, I learned a lot. Uh,
Hmm.
I lost a lot of sleep, but at the same time, I did learn a whole lot, and I use it every day now when I go to the woods. And it's the same no matter what part of the country you go to. Everywhere I've been, they're all different, but they're all similar. They do the same things. It may be a different sound, but it all means the same thing. Just like those rock clacks you heard today. Those 3 rock clacks, clack clack
Hmm.
clack. That's
Yeah.
you can tell me the story, and I can tell you just about what was happening when you heard 3 clacks. You were on your way out. They're
Hmm.
triangulating with each other. They're letting each other know you're on the move, and it's a warning that you're coming.
I'm going, and my dog too. I think they probably worry about my dog more than they do me because she's off the leash, and that's the feeling that I get when I'm out there.
Yep.
But I don't know. I also I'm a threat. I'm sure too.
Well,
Oh
you're
my
you're
gosh.
you're a female, so you're like,
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe I'm not a threat.
you, you have your own channel on their TV.
I am
It's
their entertainment is what I am.
Yes,
I am
you
their
are.
entertainment and yes. And I walked out there today and I was like, "Hi everybody. How are y'all doing?" Through the woods. I'm
Yep.
back.
It's
I
and
really
it's
was waving. I felt like, I was in a parade because I felt like something was watching me. So I was like, "Hey."
and why did the First Nations people wave or hold their hand up like
I
wow?
I actually felt, oh my gosh, that is so
You
wild
know,
that you just brought that up.
you know what
Sign
that means?
language. Yeah.
What does that mean though? What were you affirming when you held your hand up?
Peace. And like I'm not
Oh,
a threat. No,
you have
I don't know. I'm saying
you have
hey.
proves you're human and you have 5 fingers, not
Oh,
6.
dang. Good thing I didn't wear my fake extra finger. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
that's
Just
that's
kidding.
that's what they were actually. You were proving to
Really?
yourself that you were human,
Shut the front door.
and that's
I
that's
was
what
just
I've
saying,
heard.
hey, look, I'm not armed right here, but I might
Well, it's
be
like
under
when
my
you hold
shirt.
your fingers up, you're affirming that you're human. You're proof
Oh
you're
my
human.
God.
You got 5 fingers.
Y'all remember that. Everybody's watching tonight. You guys are listening in. 5 fingers. Okay, 10 fingers. You're probably human. Okay, probably human. That is so wild, David. I never even thought about that. I would have never thought about that. Okay, I have a question for you. Okay, because something that has happened quite a bit. Now, I don't know if it's happened when I've been with you out in the woods, but with my ERG team, okay, out there. And there have been times where things have been going nuts, haywire. Like there's things screaming at us at our camp. And it's not, the last thing we should do is go to bed, go to sleep. Everybody turn into their tents for the night. But right after this happens, within the hour, we all turn in for the night and go to sleep. And it's almost like we have been lulled, I guess is the word, to sleep. Like it's almost, I'm not going to say it was like hypnotic or anything kind of like mind control going on or whatever, but maybe it is. I don't know. The last thing you would think that we would do would be to go to sleep, go lay down in our tents when we had all this intense activity going on in our base camps. We should stay up all night, right?
Yep.
What do you think that is? Is that common? Something that you've had happen to you?
I had the overwhelming feeling that I needed to go to bed, and I fought it and stayed up. Everybody else went to bed, but I would stay up. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's time to go to bed. You need to go to bed. And I think a lot of that is they're ready to do what they do and they're looking for food around the campsites and they don't feel comfortable moving around the campsites to look for food.
Yeah.
With everybody, they want everybody to go to bed. You're that's their grocery store and you're blocking the doorway. So
good point. Yeah, they're trying to get us out of there. Speaking of, this is one of my favorite people in the whole Bigfoot community, Mr. Flat Rock himself. Flat Rock, thank you for being here. Flat Rock, I got to hang out with him at the East Alabama Bigfoot Town Hall about a month ago. And he's got David do you know Flat Rock, by the way, from Alabama? He actually has Bigfoots on his property.
Yeah, I've seen when he's come on your show, I've seen the shows. That's where he was having some problem, Bigfoot.
Yeah, I don't think Flat Rock's been on my show, but he has been. I don't think Flat Rock's ever been. Flat Rock needs to come on my show, though. Okay,
he may have been on somebody else's show.
He was on somebody else's show for sure. He's definitely done some shows before.
And did he do something with
he's
Victoria?
got problematic ones. Yeah, he's had some that were peeking in his window and bugging his mama and him and his wife. So
did he do a show with Victoria? Maybe.
Maybe so. Probably so.
But he was having trouble with them that they were being aggressive. He had one that was overly aggressive. I think so.
Probably so. Yes. Yeah. I would think so. But yeah,
I've interviewed people in the past that were having the exact same things happen and that he's reporting.
Yeah. Well, this is on his house. I mean, on his property, and I couldn't imagine. I mean, just having something looking in your window every night, that creeps me out. I'm a huge proponent of blinds and curtains, y'all. Definitely. Have you ever had one that has followed you home?
Me?
Yes, you.
No, not a Bigfoot.
No.
There's Bigfoot on the property, on the land where I live. I have 80 years worth of sighting reports from this general area where I live within half a mile of my house. I've had Bigfoot activity on my property. I've got a picture of one in my backyard. But they are the local ones that have been here for, forever, I guess. The ones that I deal with in Uwharrie stay in Uwharrie. The ones that are here is a whole different group. If I go somewhere else, I can go up, 30 miles away into the mountains. There's another group of them up there. They're all different. No, I've never had none follow me home. If you go out looking for Bigfoot and you find Bigfoot and then you come home and you start having Bigfoot activity, it's not the same Bigfoot.
You don't think it's the same ones?
You're interacting with the locals, and the ones you just went and visited are still down there where you visited them at.
There's a whole lot. They network?
no more than like white-tailed deer do. They, the males get run off whenever they get of age, and they come in and steal a few of the females away from the other big daddy or take his spot. But as far they're separate. They're like two different herds of deer, and I'm sure there's constant competition between the females. But other than that, there's all these stick structures that we see in the woods and we observe, and everybody's trying to figure out what that means. And this, it's it's their road signs for each other. We see it, don't understand what it is. I've seen enough of it now, and I've started putting things together with some of the stick structures. It's road signs for each tribe or each group.
Mm-hmm. They're territory markers.
Yeah, they're territorial.
Mm-hmm.
And this one doesn't cross into this one, and they don't cross over. The only time you get the crossings, and if you go back to the majority of Bigfoot sightings, road crossing sightings, you never hear about little ones crossing the roads. You never hear about mid-sized ones. It's always these great big huge ones crossing the road. It's the males that are out going from one group to the next.
Oh, and the juveniles too, right? The ones that aren't like tiny ones, but they're not gigantic too. The ones that are a little more adventurous are the ones that get seen and mess with humans probably more, I would think.
Yeah, they're playing in the playground.
Yeah, they're the ones causing the ruckus.
And if you have some really good experiences like I've had, like in West Virginia, it got really bad in West Virginia, but when we went, I took everybody back the same night after me and my two friends had our experience, and we went back to base camp. We got 10 more people begged us to take them back. It started out with 6, and I'm like, there's not enough people. When they got to 13, I said, okay, we got enough of us. I'll go back. And, we dealt with them till 2:00 in the morning, and all 13 of us got to experience. And then off on top of this ridge right above us, a couple 100 feet up on this sheer cliff almost, there's this great big old long Ohio howl. The best howl that I have ever heard. I've never heard one as clear since.
Right. You say Ohio howl?
Yeah. What is described it when you classify howls, there's one that they call Ohio howl.
That's interesting because I've been covering Ohio dogmen lately. A lot of them.
Google it or look it up.
Okay.
And the one you hear is this long, deep howl that just carries forever. One did that on top of this ridge. And I mean, when you're in the woods and it's pitch dark, I'm reliving it right now as I'm talking about it. You hear this. God. And then it's all this activity. I mean, they were throwing apples back at us, rocks. We got screamed at, trees shaking. I mean, big trees shaking, logs being thrown. And then it's like a light switch gets turned off as soon as that howl quits. And in my mind, it's like Big Daddy's up on top of the hill calling the kids home. It's time to come home, right? And all the activities just ceased, just stopped. You didn't hear a leaf hit the ground. It was just dead quiet. And I've had that happen a couple of times. You have some really good activity, and then you hear a distant vocalization, and then everything just stops. It's like
breaks up the party.
Daddy's calling us home.
It's like your mom or grandma or somebody came to break up the super party you had, and you thought they were out of town.
Yep.
Don't ask me how I know how that feels. It's happened to me before in high school. Okay. That's what the Bigfoots are doing out there. I mean, we say that they do have some things that they do very much like humans, and they're a lot like humans, even in that sense. And there's nothing like hearing a big Bigfoot vocalization, and I think it's really interesting that you guys call that. And I've not heard that before, the Ohio howl, because I have been covering Ohio dogmen and werewolves lately. I just did a show last week on what was that called? it started with a D. I can't remember. But the name of the town, somebody in the chat remember? I don't know, y'all. I can't think. I've had a long day. Okay. But it was a werewolves out of Ohio. I even had Colleen Norris on the show, who is a Dogman investigator from up there. And they have a ton of Dogman and werewolf sightings up there. So I don't know. Sounds like an interesting connection.
Yeah, it's matter of fact, Matt Moneymaker used to use it all the time whenever he was doing long distance vocalizations. He would use a long howl like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Matt Moneymaker is from the BFRO, right? BFRO.
He's founded, yeah.
And he was on that show. What was it?
Finding Bigfoot.
Finding Bigfoot. Where tonight our show is called Fighting Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I kind of got the inspiration from that because I was like, wait, this is going to be Fighting Bigfoot. It kind of sounds the same a little bit, but it's not. No relation at all.
Yeah. The show Finding Bigfoot, whenever it was the first,
thank you, Kristen.
It was the first season. The second episode was in Uwharrie, and one of the reasons they used it on the show was started from the research that I started in Uwharrie, then built a team up, and we had such good success and there was so much activity, they decided to do a show there. Of course, Moneymaker and company, whenever they went there, it was made for TV. They were never going to find a Bigfoot.
Oh, man. For entertainment purposes only tonight. Okay. That's true. I mean, what's the point? If you find it, then you don't have a show. You can't have season 2. I'm just kidding. Yep. No, it'd be great if you could find them, but
the best part of that episode was Mike Green's squeaky footage, and the show done all it could to try to discredit Mike Green's footage. And
even though they're trying to find a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good video of a Bigfoot right there. Now, can you describe to the audience? By the way, Kristen Payton is in the chat tonight. What's up, Kristen? Thank you. She says Defiance, Ohio. Yes, thank you for refreshing my memory. I just had a show on that this week. I couldn't remember the name of it. But like I said, it's been a long day. Thank you for being here, Kristen. Kristen's one of our teammates, y'all. But can you describe to the audience what the squeaky footage is? Because it has to do with the candy wrapper too, right?
Yeah, I actually have a couple of those Zagnut candy bar wrappers with the bite radiuses in it from the Sasquatch. Yeah, going back to Mike Green, I met Mike Green when I was with the BFRO. He had come down, I think from Indiana. I believe he lived in Indiana, and he was a BFRO investigator, and he come down to Uwharrie to one of our outings where it was just a private outing with just investigators. We used to do that all over the place, and we had one in Uwharrie, and we were sitting across from a picnic table talking, and he was talking about his experiences, and he was talking about what had already happened in Uwharrie that he had already got to experience, and he'd been looking for him for 20 years, and at the time, he told me all he'd ever heard was a distant wood knock. And I told him, I said, Mike, do you seriously want to encounter a Bigfoot? And he said, yes. I said, this is what you do. I told him where to set his tent. I told him where the squatches were going to come from, what direction they were going to come from, the route, the whole everything. And that very night, one come up and pushed his tent in. But exactly what I told him it would do. It walked up, pushed his tent in. He actually slapped back and hit the tent to hit its hand. And the Bigfoot panicked and run into a picnic table, knocked the whole seat off, and took off down through the woods. Mike jumped out with a thermal, and all he ever got was the back. He could see just the back of it as it ran away. Well, it took him 2 more years, but he finally got one on footage, and he'd been putting Zagnut. He tried all kind of stuff, different candies, different toys, different stuff. He would put out on the stump, and then he would sit out there with a thermal in hopes of getting the bait. And it always seemed to be that as soon as he took the thermal and went to bed, it would come up and get the bait. But just like with me, he spent enough time in the woods, and he said they would always make this noise, and he knew they were close. So this one particular night, Mike took his thermal, set it down on the ground, pointed it at the stump with his Zagnut candy bar, and left. He left a $10,000 thermal out here sitting on the ground.
What? $10,000?
This was one of the very first thermals that come
You
out.
could buy a car for that.
Yeah.
But he got a thermal.
He had, the thermals we have now are about the size of your hand. This one he had was a Raytheon thermal. It was about 16 inches long, 8 inches in diameter. It was huge.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And he set it up just set it on the ground, turned it on, didn't even focus it, and drove off. And he went up the road. I know exactly where he pulled and everything. I've talked to him about all of it. And he waited about an hour. Then he drove back, retrieved his thermal, reviewed it, seen that he had the footage, went home, downloaded it, and the rest of it's history. But what it shows is, the Squatch that shows on that thermal footage, I've seen a number of times using thermal. I've dealt with that individual animal 100 times. But it comes up, it walks up, and then you see it goes down on all four. It crawls up to the stump, and then you see it reach up with its hand, grab the Zagnut candy bar, and then it backs away crawling. When it gets back down to the bottom of the hill, it stands back up, and then it sways a couple times, and then it walks off. And he got all that on FLIR. Well, they showed that video on Finding Bigfoot episode, but then they tried to discredit it by putting somebody in there in a ghillie suit, I believe. They done everything they could to put just enough doubt into it to where people wouldn't believe. But Mike Green's dead. He's in the grave. He passed away a few years ago. But I know 100% that footage he has is the real deal because I've seen the same animal myself. But Mike, he messed up a few things that I would have done differently. He never went back and tried to find the candy bar. If you've got an animal taking a candy bar that's in a wrapper, those wrappers are going to be in the woods somewhere, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, they should be.
All right. They showed up exactly where I thought they would be, and they took the path into that campsite exactly like I told them they would the very first time it ever come up and pushed his tent in. And I went down through there and would pick the candy bar wrapper out, and they would bite it in the center through the wrapper, and a lot of times it would bite, and a piece of the plastic wrapper would come out into its mouth in the shape of a half moon, just like he took a bite of an apple, and then
they had to spit that out.
So I found the wrapper first, and then a few feet down, you'd find that little slither of plastic where it had, and they would spit that part out, and then you could match them up. And I've got a couple of those candy bar wrappers where you can match up the bite radius of the, and I just kept them. They're like, little mementos for me.
You know what? I bet you Expedition Bigfoot up in Cherry Log, Georgia would love to have that candy wrapper one day. If you ever wanted to, put it in the Bigfoot Hall of Fame somewhere, that's part of Bigfoot history right there. That you got.
Yeah, it is. And to me,
some DNA off of it
means something. But at the time, actually, that big tree twist you've seen. Well, we were cutting that down to preserve it. Olaf took it home with him, but we were cutting in the process of cutting that down. And Mike Green come walking out of the woods from getting his cameras, and I told Mike, I said, I got some candy bar wrappers from your footage. Do you want it? And he's like, no, I don't need that. I was like, okay. But to me, that's hard evidence to back up. It just kind of fits hand in glove with the video. I would have loved to have had it. And I offered it to him, and he didn't want it. So I brought him home and put him on my Bigfoot crap.
$10,000 for a piece of equipment. Good Lord, that's
That's
dedication right there. Did he only get that? Did he buy it just for the Bigfoot footage? Like, because he wanted to go find Bigfoot, or did he have it for another reason?
he had it
A
for
lot of
years.
money. Oh,
It's
yeah.
like one of the very first FLIRs come out that were publicly available to the public,
Yeah.
you know. And he had bought
Wow.
it years past in front. I don't know how long he had it. But at the time, most individual Bigfooters did not have FLIR. You know, the BFRO had a few, but that was because Wally was funding it, and we had a couple that we used, but you couldn't even record on them. You know, it was a whole ordeal just to have a thermal that could record, much
Yeah.
less view. And you know, now they're, you know, you can pick one up for $1,500 or less to record.
That's,
If
which
I
to me
had,
is still expensive, okay?
yeah,
But it's not $10,000. That's a
but
lot.
yeah,
Wow.
now you can get, you know, you can get a thermal now for what a night vision used to cost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, night vision used to cost $2,000 or $3,000. Now you can get a really nice thermal for what night vision used to cost back in the day.
Yeah, we've got an expensive hobby habit, don't we?
Yeah, I've
Man,
got
we do.
$1,000 tied up in gear.
Yeah, it ain't cheap, y'all. And by the way, thank y'all so much for all the donations tonight and the super stickers. Deb D, thank you for gifting that Cryptid Huntress membership. I do have a membership here at the YouTube channel called the Hunt Club. If you guys want to join, I put exclusive content out. And apparently, we still have Dave Scott here. Thank you for sticking around, Dave Scott. Again, thank you for that super sticker. He says Jessica looks like one of them Canadians with the red and black plaid shirt on. Yes, I must. I like a lumberjack. I know. I was actually I was wondering if like maybe I might change into a werewolf while I was on the show with David Pardue tonight. Okay, so I wore the red just in case I decided to change into a werewolf. Okay, just for you, Dave. Okay, Dave Scott. so thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, we have a fun chat tonight, David. This has been a fantastic show. I know it's running kind of long. We went over 2 hours tonight, and you and I could probably talk all night about this stuff. I know we could, but yeah. Oh man, we totally could. We've covered all the bases tonight for what we had planned to talk about, and so much more. And so, man, I mean, David, do you have any like final thoughts tonight? And I don't know, what a great show.
Y'all need to come to the Georgia conference. I'll be speaking. I'm going to go into detail about my West Virginia trip, my West Virginia experience, a few other experiences I've had, lots of photos of Bigfoot stick structures, tree twist. I even have a little small twist that I've cut down in the past, and I'll have it, and I'll just pass it around the audience. Whoever wants to look at it, hold it, touch it, feel it. So come on down,
Man.
and I'll go into a whole lot of more detail about stuff that I haven't covered on here.
You guys don't want to miss it. And we're also going to have Matthew Delph there as well. And Matthew Delph has that video of the orbs that David was talking about that shoot down. I talk about him on the show like every show, David. I swear. My friend Barry Littleton, he saw the video too when Matthew was at the first conference that all three of us spoke at together. The first conference I ever spoke at up in Helen, Georgia. And Matthew showed us that video. It's the first time I ever met Matt Delph was at that conference. And he showed us that video, and Barry and I talk about it on almost every show we do together. I think it's so important for the disclosure of what's really going on around us. And I think that video is a key element to UFO, not only UFO disclosure, but like aliens and orbs. Okay,
And
orbs are a big thing. We hadn't even talked about orbs tonight.
if you look at that orb that Matthew has that runs, it goes down in behind the tree and then it runs. Look at the body of that, and look at the body of the one I just got in Uwharrie in September and tell me it ain't the same creatures.
It looks like a gray alien, I guess.
The same
I mean,
thing.
that's what we think it is.
But
From
that one's a video in color. I mean, in night vision,
yeah.
basically. And the one I have is a color photo. That's the only difference in the two. It's the same entities.
You know what I'd love to do in a perfect world? I would have you and Matthew Delph on the show, and us showing both of your footage on the show, and doing a comparison of all the videos that you guys have. That would be so fantastic. But a girl can dream, can't she? She
I'll
can.
have
I think you'd be down. I just gotta talk Matthew Delph into it. So y'all, if you know Matthew Delph, Kristen, you're here. Thank you, Kristen, for that super sticker. You're so sweet. I appreciate you
I'll have
being
to
here.
do another conference with somebody with a UFO, and I'll cover all the alien stuff that I have, and it's
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to be there for that. I don't know. Like maybe we can get you and Matthew in the same room doing at a conference, and you guys can do a little compare and contrast with those videos. That would be so great.
I'll tell you what, Friday night when we go to the distillery,
Georgia Bigfoot.
I'll have my laptop with me and I'll show you my Bigfoot alien presentation that's got all of it
Yes.
on there.
All right. Well, if you guys want to, if y'all want to see it too, maybe David will show it to a few of us there. Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all come to the RM Rose Distillery the night before the Georgia Bigfoot Conference in Mount Airy, Georgia. Okay. If y'all can find it, if you can find it on a map, it's in the middle of almost nowhere. It's right off the interstate, actually. So y'all come and see us over there. It's going to be a great conference, David, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys. And hopefully Kristen will come too. Kristen, I hope you'll be there, and we can get some of our teammates up there for that. I know Keith's coming. Keith said he's coming too. So,
It'll
yeah,
be my first time speaking in Georgia, so
yeah. Well, I'm not missing that. I'll definitely be there for that. So, yeah, I can't wait, David. It's going to be awesome. And you guys too, you can get your tickets. You got to go to georgiabigfootconference.org or .com. I think it's both to get your tickets and stuff. So, or just buy your tickets when you get there too. I think you can do that too. But yeah, I can't wait to see your presentation, David. I know it's going to be fantastic. And that tree twist, I forgot to pull a picture up of that tonight. I didn't have it on my computer. But David, you have the best. That's the best tree twist I have ever seen, and I showed it at my presentation in East Alabama.
yeah.
I put it in my presentation because it's so good.
The thing about that tree twist, it all ties back into the Mike Green footage. There's a whole story just off of that tree twist that's very, very, very seldom been told, that people don't know, that you know
It's how many times is that thing twisted around? You've told me before how many you think it is. It's a lot. It's a big tree.
It's like 12 or 13 times. It's a 6-inch
Yeah.
poplar tree, and it's the splinters actually measure from one end of the twist. If you go out to the next splinter at the end, is 6 foot wide. That's how far the splinters come out. 3 foot on each side, so it's 6 foot across.
And it wasn't a human that did it.
No, there's the ground wasn't even disturbed. It was, whatever I done, it had a lot of strength and very minimal ground contact. So if I'd have tried to do it, I'd have dug the ground up trying to spin it around.
I mean, I don't even think a piece of machinery would have done it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would even come close would be an auger off of a tractor, but then you would see evidence of the tree itself damaged from the steel of an auger or something. The only thing that was damaged was the twist itself. The end of the tree, which we cut it off, it was undamaged. It was just spun around and around and around and around.
It was wild. And you would have seen the marks on the ground where the the equipment had been sitting and
there
had
was
been taken in.
The only thing, the only damage that was there was the forestry department cut a pine tree down and actually landed on a looking glass structure that had been there for about 2 years. I'll show a picture of that at the Georgia conference. They destroyed that structure that had been there for 2 years. And then the very next, I think it's 2 weekends later after that tree was cut, this big tree twist showed up. But the unique thing about it, the stump where that big pine tree was cut down, that stump, that's the one that Mike Green was putting the Zagnut Kenny bar on.
Oh man. Yeah, it kind of sucks that the twist got taken out of there because it seems like it should have stayed there probably.
Yeah.
But anyways, it is what it is, and that's another piece of Bigfoot history right there. That's the best tree twist I've ever seen,
Yep.
ever. Yeah, by far the best tree twist I've ever seen. Well, David, do you guys? I know you've got a Facebook page with your group, right? With the Carolina Cryptid Field Research. Um, is that a good way? Do you do investigations still? Could people get in touch with you if they have a sighting or something?
Yes. Matt Hooper is one of my research partners, and I don't do Facebook. Matt usually handles the Facebook stuff. You can go on YouTube, send an email through YouTube where you get it that way. We actually just done well, Matt did. I can't even remember the TV show. He just done a little short thing with some vocalizations that was captured in Uwharrie, and it should be airing in the spring. That was through the History Channel. So, yeah, you can get hold of me through there with the Carolina Cryptid. Is it Carolina Cryptid.gmail, I believe. But you go on the find us on the Facebook's probably the easiest way.
Okay, I've got the name on the screen right now. So you guys go to Carolina Cryptid Field Research. It's on Facebook, and you can get in touch with them that way. And yeah, David, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Oh
I
yeah,
love it when you come on the show, you just, man, you made me think outside the box again tonight. Okay, so I know I've got a lot to marinate on. I know our audience has a lot to marinate on tonight, and I can't wait to see you in Georgia in about 3 weeks.
yep.
I'll see you here.
All righty.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you, David. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I want to thank my audience for being here. Everybody that's been in the chat, you guys just make the show a million times better just from all the comments and stuff. I mean, we have a great show, okay, but the comments in the chat are just off the chain every single night. We just and day we have such a great time, and we had a huge outpouring of support tonight from all the people who gave super stickers. And let me go through the list real quick. Kristen and Dave Scott and Deb D, and let's see. There's a lot. Firewater by Design. Thank you so much. And Diaries of a Wandering Artist. Cat Chaser, Firewater by Design. Thank you for giving that membership out tonight. Dave Scott again. Jennifer Patterson. Larry Sharp. Thank you for gifting that membership. Maureen and Gus. Kent. Caleb Jade. Firewater by Design. Thank you all so much. It has been very sweet of all you guys to support my channel and all the work we're doing over here. So I want to thank you guys so much. If you guys would like to come back and see me on Monday, I will be back here at 1 p.m. with Erin Elizabeth. She is the great grandniece of Admiral Byrd. Okay, and she has experience with Saint Germain, the immortal Saint Germain as well. And we're going to be talking about bloodlines, maybe some Shaluminati stuff. It's going to be really good, y'all. It's going to be definitely an outside of the box kind of show for sure. So y'all come back and see me. I can't wait to talk about the Admiral Byrd stuff too. So David, thank you again for being here. Please stay safe out there. I know you're always safe, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. But
Hope not.
nonetheless, yeah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I think that those Bigfoots out there love you, and they're not going to let anything happen to you out there. I already know it. Even if there's dogmen in the area, you're safe.
Well, I don't worry about the ones in Uwharrie. They got my back.
They got your back. Even the little people got your back. Everybody's got your back out there.
They're always around me, so
They are. They are awesome. Okay, well, David, have a great night. I will see you guys on Monday. Thanks for sticking around. And you guys, please stay safe out there. Do not live in fear. I know what David and I were talking about tonight can sound a little scary to the everyday normal people, but we're not normal here on this channel, y'all. In the audience, everybody, we're not all normal. Okay, but don't live in fear. Okay, and enjoy yourselves. Get out in the woods as much as you can, and go recharge your batteries, just like I did today. It makes a huge difference. All right. Well, I love you guys. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all Monday. See y'all.